So Jai Guruji, can I start? So I think most of you have heard my satsang. So Guruji has cured me of asthma, cancer. I'm not sure if I'm just talking to myself or if people are listening, because I'm getting no sign from people to say that I'm on. Can somebody WhatsApp me or something, or just say that I'm on and I can be visible and audible? I'm not sure where I am. Mriduji, can you just send me a WhatsApp saying that I'm audible and visible? Okay, I can see somebody's watching. Vinita Bhargav. Okay, so yes, we can hear you. All right, perfect. Okay, perfect. It's never like easy talking into a camera as opposed to a physical satsang. Jai Guruji, everyone. Thank you. So, presumably you would like me to start from the beginning, so I will, even though I know many of you have heard me before, but I guess like Guruji said, jitni baar bhi sun lo utni baar hi meher hai, so it doesn't really matter. And I came to Guruji with a cocktail of health issues. I had skin cancer, I had asthma, life-threatening asthma. I was hospitalized every changing season. And then of course I had many other issues, personal issues also. So Guruji ki meher bahut rahi hai. I mean, we can't even quantify in words. And unhone sirf cancer aur asthma hi nahi theek kiya. He's corrected and many things in my life, many aspects of my life have been corrected. Sorry, I kept getting calls from Ritu. I don't know why. I was already getting comments from here. So can you somebody send the comment again to just let me know that I'm again live? She was calling me incessantly, so it got interrupted. I'm sorry. Okay, Jai Guruji. Thank you. Okay, so as I was saying, Guruji cured me of asthma and skin cancer and many other issues, physical and emotional. And Guruji used to say, mere vaste asthma, diabetes, cancer ठीक करना बड़ी मामूली चीज़ है. और ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ठीक करना मुश्किल है. So he came to teach us. To become a good human being. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਕੀ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. So actually we are not capable of giving God or divinity anything. Nothing in our hands can be given to him. We are takers. Now, but he used to say, ek changa insan ban lo. Once we become a decent human being, that a life well lived is the greatest gift that we can give divinity. So Guruji हमें बीमारियां नहीं ठीक करने आए थे. Actually में वो तो कहते थे चमत्कार नू नमस्कार हो रहा है. अगर मैं ठीक करांगा तो लोगों को फिर भरोसा होएगा कि रब बैठा है, नहीं तो लोगों को भरोसा ही नहीं है. In his good humor he used to say कि दिल्ली के लोग समझते हैं कि पैसा रब है. And world over जिनके पास पैसा है हम उनको पूछते हैं और रब को भूल गए थे हम. और इतना ज़्यादा भूल गए थे कि इस हद तक कि अब इसलिए there is an imbalance in the ecosystem which we are completely witnessing today. कहते थे बड़ा मारा टाइम आ रहा है, इन्ना मारा टाइम आएगा कि तुसी अपने कार बैठ के मैनू याद करोगे. और वही हुआ पिछले साल से. During the lockdown we all started remembering him and praying to him from our homes. And the good thing was कि घर में ही मंदिर बन गए. And which he said, कहते तू एक दिन आएगा तो मैनू कार बैठ के याद करेंगे. And it's become our reality today. And करते करते गुरु जी की संगत बहुत बढ़ गई. 97 में बहुत कम थी. There was a handful of us who used to go to छोटा मंदिर, and it was absolutely blissful to say the least It could not be articulate. His presence, which was larger than life, his aura, his love for each Sangat, and direct connection banana. And this is Guruji's teachings. He is our master, he's our greatest teacher, he's our supreme teacher. And he teaches us कि अपना direct connection बनाओ. As the Sangat grows, you know, I'm sure, especially from the Purani Sangat, if I may label, कि बहुत सारी tweaking भी होती है. You know, I went, attended another satsang recently, and predominantly the playlist was, you know, Hindi Bollywood movie songs. So Guruji ने जब बोला कि मेरी शब्द चलाया करो सत्संग, because it has been infused with his love and infused with his blessings. जो सुनेगा वो शब्द, वो उनका ही कल्याण होगा through the शब्द गुरबानी. हमारे बॉलीवुड गाने सुनने से कल्याण नहीं हो सकता है. एंड यू नो, इट्स चाहे गुरुजी भाव देखते हैं, बट जो गुरुजी का हुक्म है, इफ वी फॉलो दैट टू द लेटर, इट्स लाइक अ टीचर टीचिंग अस, यू नो, logarithms or algebra, and if we learn it the way the teacher is teaching us to the letter, then we are bound to pass our tests. But if we are tweaking it and applying our mind, कहते हैं ना, दो तरह के लोग आंदे ने गुरुजी को. गुरुजी कहते से गुरमुख होता है ते मनमुख होता है. जो गुरमुख होता है वो गुरुजी की हर वाणी और हर हुक्म मानता है. जो मनमुख होता है वो अपनी मन की सुनता है. तो वो मन तो गुरुजी हमारी जो था, हमारे गुण और यू नो हमारी जो ईगो है, अहम, वो गुरुजी दूर करने आए थे. गुरुजी यूज्ड टू से कि मैं तोड़े अहम दूर करने आया, तो दूर करने आया हूँ. तो वो अगर दूर हो गए तो आप गुरुजी के करीब आ गए. So the more distant our ego becomes, or our own mindset कि मैंने ये ऐसे करना है, मैंने बॉलीवुड के गाने लगाने हैं, चाहे सत्संग हो, फिर मैंने डांस खूब सारा करना है, तो we are not learning the lesson. It's a spiritual journey. Even this Guruji has taught us कि जब हम 2 घंटे बैठते थे तो आंख बंद करके बैठते थे, क्योंकि जब हम आंख बंद करते हैं तो तब गुरुजी हमारे अंदर जागते हैं और हमें दिखते हैं. So that is how he taught us. You come, you bow, kneel before him, and just sit, listen to the shabad, be it whether you understand it or not, and then have the langar prasad as your medicine. उस भाव से खाइए कि खाना नहीं, पर हमें अपनी दवाई खा रही हूँ. दवाई किसके लिए वो गुरुजी जानते हैं, हमें भी पता होता है. लाइक ही सेड, नानक दुखिया सब संसार. कोई ना कोई कष्ट हर इंसान ਨੂੰ है. तो कोई फिजिकल लेवल पे है, तो कोई इमोशनल लेवल पे है, या कोई फाइनेंशियल लेवल पे है. तो हर बंदे को कोई ना कोई कष्ट होता है, इसलिए वो गुरु के पास आता है. लेकिन गुरु के पास आना भी बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है. लाइक ही सेड लेकिन गुरु को आंदे तो बहुत लोग ने, पर वो समझे नहीं क्यों आंदे ने. वो समझते नहीं मैं दुकान खुली हुई है, तो वो समझते हैं कि वो अपनी शॉपिंग लिस्ट ले आए और दुनिया की चीज़ें मांगे ना. गुरुजी सेड, जब आप असली चीज़ मांग लेते हो, रब से रब मांग लेते हो और सचमुच सरेंडर कर लेते हो, तो दुनिया की चीज़ें आपके पीछे पीछे भागेंगी. दिस इज़ अ फैक्ट विच आई हैव विटनेस्ड इन माई लाइफ. तो हम अपना सत्संग सुनाते हैं, बाकी कोई मीडिएटर्स नहीं है. लाइक ही सेड, कोई किसी को यू नो गाइड या मिसगाइड नहीं कर सकता, बिकॉज गुरुजी के साथ हम जब डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन बनाते हैं, और जो कि बनाना भी चाहिए, क्योंकि ऐसा है कहना, analogy is कि we have to make our direct connection with our mother and father. We can't have mediators to teach us how to love our parents, to love our mother and father. So the same way we must learn through daily practice to love our father and our mother rolled in one, and our brother and best friend who is Guruji, to communicate with him directly and to form a strong bond with him and him only. चाहे हम सुख में हो चाहे दुख में हो. When we are in dukh, we must bow to him and really, in fact, cry before him if you need to, and really vent it out. And अगर सुख में है तो शुक्राना करो, दुख में भी शुक्राना करो. It could be worse. So he has taught us practically how to connect with him. कोई वहम नहीं, कोई रिचुअल्स नहीं. There's no such thing as abstinence also. Okay, you can't have non-veg or you can't have alcohol. Everything in moderation. He has taught us the middle path and a balance in all things. He never said abstain from this or that. He just said आया करो, चंगा इंसान बनो, and enjoy करो life को. Like every time he would bless his Sangat, after doing Kalyan, he would say, Ja ऐश कर. And I remember very vividly around 2004 or 5 when he said कि बड़ा मारा time आ रहा है and जिन्नी ऐश करनी है कर लो. Now, ये मारा time, if I try and translate it from my logical mind, it started last year with the COVID, where we were all in lockdown. Our vocabulary changed overnight. So, जो हमने पाना था दुनिया में वो पा लिया. अब गुरुजी से असली चीज़ मांगने का टाइम आ गया. रब से रब मांग लो, like he said, because कहते थे गुरुजी सब कुछ ऐसे ही रह जाना है दुनिया दी जिज्जा, और नाम की कमाई आपके साथ जाएगी. तो जितना हम नाम ले लें, सिमरन करें, सत्संग करें, सेवा करें, अनकंडीशनली. किसी को हमारी मदद चाहिए हो तो हम ज़रूर, वी मस्ट एक्सटेंड और गिविंग हैंड एज मच एज वी कैन. जितना गिव करोगे उतना रिसीव करोगे. द मोर वी गिव द मोर वी रिसीव फ्रॉम गुरुजी, एंड दैट इज अगेन अ फैक्ट. And he actually diminishes and dissolves our insecurities and fears, and our fears turn into faith, absolute faith. And that is the beauty with Guruji. Fast forwarding, so Guruji, before he left his body in 2007, physical garb, he said कि तू हुन जगह जगह जाए सत्संग करे, तेरी सेवा है. And I remember I just laughed and I said, Guruji, आपने तो एक दिन बोला था कि मुझे सत्संग करना नहीं आता. He said, तू नहीं करेंगी, मैं करांगा, मेरी महर है. So उनकी महर में ही लहर चलती है, और जब लहर चलती है तो गुरुजी used to say कि दोनों तरफ blessing होती है, सुनान मल्ला और सुनन मल्ला, दोनों तरफ मेरी blessing चल दिया ने उस टाइम. गुरुजी ने बहुत easy and simplify कर दिया religion को. वो religion में है ही नहीं. In fact, he has broken the boundaries of religion. Today we see people from all castes, religion, coming and connecting to Guruji. उस time भी थे, अब ज़्यादा है. And this shows that we are not of a particular religion. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So Guruji ने जब कहा वापस इंग्लैंड जा in 2007, he said माँ दी सेवा कर और उसे सत्संग शुरू कर. So it happened. It happened exactly the way he had ordained it. वो आज तक हमारी लाइफ प्लान कर रहे हैं. So it's not like हम पुरानी संगत है और हम मिले हुए हैं गुरुजी को तो हम स्पेशल हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. आज गुरुजी सबको ब्लेस कर रहे हैं और प्लान कर रहे हैं उनकी लाइफ. वो प्लान कर चुके हैं. He is already standing in our future. He knows where we have to go. Everything unfolds on his watch, his timing. So 2010 में मैं वापस गई. I came to India in 2011, went to Kuwait. That was my first international satsang of sharing, and I loved it. And it was, again, this what I'm about to say illustrates the fact that हमारा सत्संग ही हमारी दवाई है. So what happened in Kuwait? 7 days I was there, and 4 times a day he was making me share satsang. So breakfast, lunch, high tea, and dinner. And I was sharing 4 times a day for 7 days. Came back, and I felt terribly sick. Now that sickness was reduced, like he said, 90% में अपने दिल लाना, 10% like a prick of a needle. You have to go through your karmas, because that's where your life lessons are. So it may be humility you need to learn, or compassion, or humanity, whatever it is we have to learn. We learn through that 10% of suffering, and the strife and the struggle is what humbles us. And I came back and I had sludge in the liver, my bile duct was blocked, and I had stones in my gallbladder. I mean, it's unreal what happened. And I had a hysterectomy. And hysterectomy I had, then I was hospitalized because of these 3 issues. And after staying in the hospital for 2 weeks, I guess I had to stay in the hospital for 2 weeks. That was also some karmic debt, maybe sometimes, that you have to clear with the doctors or whatever it may be. Sometimes we have to lose money through our treatment of some illness. So koi hota hai balancing of the karmas. So what happened, I had to stay in hospital for 2 weeks, and when I had the MRI, lastly, in the end, just before my procedures, there was supposed to be 2 procedures, one for the bile duct to unblock, and my stones, and of course there was sludge in the liver. So I had to have 2 procedures. Now, one day before the actual procedures, the MRI came out totally clear. There was nothing. But yet I was in hospital having intravenous antibiotics, and I had to go through the whole feeling of isolation in the hospital, and the difficult times that I was spending in the hospital. I was very alone, I remember, and 2 weeks was a long time. And I remember crying out to Guruji and saying, Aapki Sangat kahan hai, Guruji? So one day before my MRI, the Sangat also came with a chocolate cake. And the way Guruji speaks, the surgeon walked in and he said, you cannot eat this chocolate cake because 24-hour fast before the MRI. And the Sangat who was there, he said, iska jitne marji test kara lo, iska kuch nahi nikalna, iski surgery nahi hoegi dekhna. The surgeon was like, whatever, हमने 3 बार टेस्ट कर लिए इनके in these last 2 weeks, and the report is identical. She has issues and she needs to be addressed. But sure enough, Guruji had performed his miracle as he does with all of us. So there is nothing to worry. Guruji used to say, chinta nahi, chintan karo. All the time, if we practice loving him and just being with him, reading the Shipran, living by his hukam, and just listening to satsangs and shabad, though it's a preventative also. तो जो बुरा टाइम आना भी होता है उसको भी गुरुजी ताड़ देते हैं, उसको बिल्कुल काट देते हैं. सो एंड ये तो सुने हुए कितने सत्संग सुने हुए जहाँ ड्रीम्स में ही काट देते हैं गुरुजी कई बार हमारे आने वाला बुरा टाइम. तो इट्स ही नोज हाउ टू ब्लेस पीपल. He has his own ways. The only way for us is walking towards him and being connected to him all the time. कहते हैं ना जागते फिरदे चलदे फिरदे भी याद करो मैनू. मंत्र जाप तुहाडे अंदर ही मन चलदे रहना चाहिए. So it is a practice. It really is. I mean, nothing is to be taken for granted, especially not him. We need to connect. It's like saying, I love God, but I don't need to attend satsangs. So we all love our parents also. So we don't need to go and see them. It's like that. If we love someone, we must spend time with them and we must connect with them and express our reverence and our love. So it's important. I think it was when Guruji sent me back to England that I started writing the Divine Light. Of course, I didn't write it. We all vessels. And I remember the thought was planted in my head, and Sangat started coming forward to share their satsangs. So I became a conduit, which I'm eternally grateful to Guruji to make me that vessel. And I began writing, and Sangat started sharing their satsangs on my email profusely. It just happened. I mean, things that are meant to be will be. No matter how much we resist or someone else resists, if it's him that has ordained it, it is bound to materialize. And he executes each and everything. So very smoothly, I wrote Turning the Page first in all, and Turning the Page was all about how I met Guruji first and how I was in dire situation in my life, but how again he ironed out the creases of my life. And then Divine Light, as I said, when I went back to England in 2010, as he had ordained it, I started writing the book, and I think it took me about a year to write it, edit it, compile it, and then to finally print it. So it was an amazing process, and being in England became easier because I was completely preoccupied. And Guruji does that. I think whatever talents we have, he hones them, and he wants us to be positively happy honing the skills that we are born with, because otherwise the mind is such, if it goes into a negative direction, then especially in the Kali that we're living in, it has a tendency to fall into depression or anxiety. So he keeps us all, I think, healthily occupied. So कुछ सेवा किसी को दे देते हैं, कुछ सेवा किसी को दे देते हैं, and it's such a beautiful way of living our lives. किसी को सत्संग हो रहा है, कोई लंगर सेवा ले लेता है, किसी को सत्संग हो रहा है तो कोई कहता है मैं चोला ले आता हूँ. So we get so pleasantly occupied कि हमारा दिमाग going from darkness it goes into light, and we are so joyful when we have to do any seva for Guruji. And besides the fact that हमारे कर्म कटते हैं सेवा करने से, and of course we are elevated, our vibration lifts, and we are in a different mode altogether. So Guruji के पास आने से बहुत कुछ होता है, बहुत कुछ बदलता है. It's not just the visible and the tangible, it's also the what's lying within us, the invisible and the intangible. So हमारी personality बदल जाती है, हमारी mindset बदल जाता है, and our priorities also change. And it's incredible how that changes. So, and today is the day, Jai Guruji, when people are, going to be listening to the Divine Night. And as I said, Guruji wrote that book. I was a male conduit. And when you listen to it, you will realize there are very diverse satsangs in that book. And it is not just about the health. It is about other miracles too, how there were roadblocks in people's lives and how Guruji just removed them. And this is what he does. When we come into his fold, I think he just takes away so much of things which we don't even acknowledge in our lives. And in hindsight, we realize कि ये भी गुरुजी ने ठीक कर दिया, वो भी ठीक कर दिया. हमारे रिश्ते ठीक हो जाते हैं, हमारी सोच ठीक हो जाती है, हमारी बुद्धि अच्छी हो जाती है. So there's so many diverse satsangs in that book, and unki granth jo hai, as people have so sacredly labeled, and I feel that he's only elevated the book and he's raised it on a pedestal because he wanted satsangs to be compiled besides Light of Divinity. And of course, after Divine Light, last year when I was in Dubai during the lockdown, then he again made me write and compile Divine Grace. That was my last one so far. And again, that was a compilation of many satsangs, sacred satsangs. So it's an endless emotion with Guruji. The emotion that we feel for Guruji is that of gratitude and love and eternal bliss, actually. And the deeper we connect, the deeper we dive within, the greater the pearl of wisdom. हमें कहते हैं ना गुरु और ज्ञान एक ही है, तो जितना हम गुरु जी से कनेक्ट होते हैं उतना ज्ञान आता है हमें जीने के लिए, how we should live. And गुरु जी ने सिखाया है actually first hand कि कैसे जीना है, कैसे how to live, how to laugh, how to love. वो बहुत हंसाते थे गुरुजी की बहुत अच्छी सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर थी. Just to tell you, गुरुजी एक दिन I'm a calligrapher, so एक बार मुझे wedding cards लिखवा रहे थे and he said थिल्ले की लिखा हुआ है. I said गुरुजी RSVP लिखा हुआ है. कहते हैं की मतलब होता है. I thought I was being very intelligent and I said गुरुजी RSVP होता है रिपोंडे सिवोप्ले. कहते वो की होता है. मैं कहा गुरुजी कहते तेनू कुछ नहीं पता कमलिए RSVP होता है रोंगे सारे व्याह दे पिछो. So how he made us laugh, and he's still teaching us that no matter how dark the sky is or how heavy the cloud, just laugh it all away. It's all temporary. ये COVID time भी आया है हमें कुछ सिखाने के लिए, and we mustn't lose our spirit and our spirit of triumph. We will forge ahead because we are Guruji's warriors and not warriors. As I always say, we will march forward, we will soldier on because Guruji is holding our hand, and we will march forward and we will win this biological war of the COVID. I think the shift has to be from COVID to just Guruji. Guruji और उनकी मेहर और उनकी रज़ा में राज़ी रहना, and just to love him truly, just to love him and not to focus on the negative news around us, not to even pay heed or entertain the negative chatter around us. We're not interested in numbers. God bless everyone. You know, Sarbada Wala, even I had COVID 2 months ago, along with my neighbor Varsha. I think I only transmitted it to her. So it is highly transmissible. One has to exercise caution. One has to definitely follow the prescribed norms, but also to have faith that all will be well. And we will see the day again, but we must learn what the COVID has come to teach us, what the universe is trying to teach us, and what Mother Nature is coming to teach us. So if we have learned the lesson, then we will forge ahead. Otherwise, जब तक हम lesson नहीं learn करेंगे, तब तक test आते रहेंगे. So that's otherwise we can't progress, we can't graduate. So, and just follow his protocol, read, enjoy the divine light, and stay safe. And I will let you be now. Jai Guruji. Thank you.